Hello viewers, myself Siddharth Patel, Assistant Professor, Political Science from the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. In this video, we are going to learn about the idea of freedom of expression. In previous video, we have already discussed the idea of harm principle that was propounded by J.S. Mill. Now, freedom of expression is very much important to our day-to-day life. I think you have heard in the news debate बोलने की आज़ादी, freedom of speech and expression. I have to think, I have to speak. So it is a most important freedom that we talk about in the present era. And J.S. Mill is the propounder of freedom of speech and expression. So first, let us learn about the concept that is given by the J.S. Mill, and then we will talk about in general about freedom of expression. Now we have to understand the heading with the minimum area of non-interference. Now here you have to relate this idea with the previous video of harm principle. J.S. Mill has told that government should not interfere in the private sphere of an individual. Government should only interfere in the public arena of the individual. In a private life, the individual should be left alone. What he want to do, what he want to become, it should be left alone. So here the J.S. Mill says that the freedom of expression is the most important right and government should not interfere here. Let the people speak. Let his ideas speak. It is the most important right of the humans. Now J.S. Mill set out good reason of why freedom of expression should not be restricted. He offered a passionate defense of freedom of expression, including freedom of thoughts and discussion. J.S. Mill has talked about freedom of thought, discussions. He believes in discussion, debates, value. You know, democracy is also based on these values. In democracy, we debate. In democracy, we discuss. In democracy, we argue. In democracy, we protest peacefully. So these are the core value of democracy too. He offered 4 reasons why there should be freedom of expression, even those who espouse ideas that appear false or misleading today. J.S. Mill has given us 4 points that why freedom of expression should not be curtailed. The first reason being, first, no idea is completely false. J.S. Mill say that no idea is completely false. I think you have heard in Hindi, एक सिक्के के दो पहलू होते. It means there are 2 sides of a story. So he says that no idea is completely false. Some might be right and some might be wrong, but the wrong one also has some truth in that. So J.S. Mill says that no idea is completely false. So what appears to us false is not that it is false, it might be the truth of the society. What appears to us as false has an element of truth. If we ban the false idea, we should lose the element of truth that they contain. J.S. Mill was talking about the element of truth in that false idea. He say कि सच छोटा भी ठीक है. The truth, however small it is, but it is important for the society. Second, truth does not emerge by itself. It is only through the conflict of opposing views that the truth emerges. Evolution of one form of the another. He says that by the debate, by the discussion, the truth emerges. The truth is not one-sided. Suppose if I am and you, we both are debating, then the truth will emerge. Nor I am correct, nor you are correct. But when we debate, but when we discuss, then we will come to a conclusion. In classes or even in the democracy, the government discusses with the minister. The government discusses the things with the opposition leader. And through that discussion, the truth emerges. Even if we talk about the classroom teaching, the teacher and student discusses certain topic, and from that discussion, we come to the conclusion. So J.S. Mill says that the truth does not emerge by itself. Through debate, through discussion, through ideas, through dialogue, the truth will emerge itself. Now the third point that J.S. Mill says about the freedom of expression is Truth always runs the risk of being reduced to an unthinking clinch. It is only when we expose it to opposing views that can be sure that the idea is trustworthy. He says that truth is necessary, and for truth we need to discuss it with the opposing views. Suppose if I am saying that my idea or my plan is completely true, then the other's idea might be false, and through debate and discussion we'll come to a conclusion that his idea is false, another one idea is false, and my idea is correct. Fourth, we cannot sure that what we consider true is actually true. Very often, ideas that are considered false at one point by entire society and therefore suppressed turn out to be true later on. Sometimes the society suppress some ideas. The society does not want that these ideas should come in light, and that is the only truth. When the person speaks truth, the society is against him. Nobody will listen to him. But after a time, after a certain year, we realize that the person who was speaking 10 years back or that the person who was speaking 50 years back was correct and we all were wrong. So here J.S. Mill is saying that certain ideas the society suppress. So we should not suppress the idea. Through discussion, through dialogue, through debate, the truth will emerge. We should not curtail the right freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is the most important right through which individual live like an human. A society that completely suppress all ideas that are not acceptable today runs the danger of losing the benefits of what might turn out to be very valuable knowledge. So he says that the society should not suppress the ideas, because if we will suppress the idea, we will run out or we will lose the valuable knowledge. Now here we must talk about freedom of expression in general. Now what do you think about it? I am asking as a viewer, as a student, what do you think about freedom of speech and expression? Now let us understand with some example. Now you have heard the demand to ban the film, the demand to ban the movie, the demand to ban the book. Demand to ban the book, plays, films or academic articles in research journal. Freedom of expression is the fundamental value, and for that society must be willing to bear some inconvenience to protect it who want to restrict it. So he says that from time to time we have heard the demand, we have seen the protest to ban the movie. Ban the movie is the common, that's why I am taking this example, because in day-to-day life I think you have heard in this news that ban this movie, do not watch this movie. Why we should not watch or why we should ban? If there is something wrong in the movie, the truth will automatically emerge. Are we so scared that in movie if something is shown it will impact the society? J.S. Mill says, I am quoting the idea of J.S. Mill, he says that we should not ban these movies, we should not ban these books. If there is something mishappening is shown in this movie or there is something wrong is shown in the movie, we should not care. The society will see what is correct and what is wrong. We are rational human beings, we can think what is right and what is wrong. We cannot be feared of that one movie. So it was the thought of J.S. Mill. Now in the words of Voltaire, and it is a very famous quote and a very important quote, I repeat in the words of Voltaire, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Voltaire here say that I disapprove what you say. I am not agreeing that what you are saying, but still I will respect your right to speak. Although I am not agreeing with what you are saying, but I have to respect, because in society, the society must be tolerant. We should respect what other person is saying, what are his views, and we must respect it. We should not commit violence like things, or we should not do any such thing that is not that are illegal. So we should be tolerant and we should promote the freedom of expression. Now incident which shows the denial of freedom of expression. Now here are some incident. Let me explain you, like Deepak Mehta was not allowed to make a film about widows in Varanasi. Deepak Mehta, he was not allowed to make a film about a widows in Varanasi. Many books are banned, many movies are banned that you cannot show. But it is a wrong part. Again, I have said there are two perspectives of a story. We are only focusing on the one perspective and the society is only following that one perspective, but we should hear the other perspective too. Banning is an easy solution. Banning is an easy solution for the short term, but it is very harmful for the long term prospect. Banning is very easy for the short term, but for the long term, we will lose freedom of expression. Here, J.S. Mill says that if we ban continuously, we will lose the tolerant society in long term. We will lose the idea of tolerance in long term. So, banning may be easy solution that ban that movie or ban that book, but in long term, we will lose that idea. Because once benefit to ban, then one developed a habit of banning. Because if we started banning the movie, it becomes our habit. Suppose if anything against the government will say ban the movie or ban the book or ban the journal, because we are doing it again and again. So J.S. Mill says that if we ban once, we will be banning it again and again. Now, freedom embodies our capacity and our ability to make choices. Freedom, it embodies us to make choices. It helps in developing our thinking capability. Choices come from the responsibility of our action and their consequences. And if we are making choices, then we are only responsible for it. If we are speaking something, we are only responsible towards it. One is needed to develop the capacity to make choices through education and cultivation of judgment. Now here we should focus on education. Rather than banning things, we should try to educate more and more population so that they know what the truth is. So they are not afraid of that movie. So they are not afraid of that book. So the easy or the long-term solution, it should be the education, because education helps the individual to judge the things. Education helps the individual to be tolerant. Education helps the individual to respect the another person's view. As much as it needs to be nurtured by limiting the authority of the state and the society. And he says that the authority of the state should be limited. The government function is to maintain law and order. The government function is to do the welfare activity. The governance part should be dealt with the people. The people know what is good for them. The people know what is bad for them. When government will interfere, definitely it will restrict our freedom. So we should protect our freedom, and freedom of expression is very much important, right? And freedom of expression is also mentioned in our constitution. In constitution, part 3, Constitution of India, part 3 talk about the fundamental right. And in fundamental right, article number 19 talk about freedom of speech and expression. Article 19 basically talks about right to freedom. So freedom of expression is a very important right, and it is protected by all the democracies in the world, and we should try to protect these rights. I hope you are cleared with the concept. I hope you have cleared what is freedom of expression, and it is mentioned in our constitution too, and I think you have gotten a glimpse of J.S. Mill idea of freedom of expression. So from the next video, we will be starting with the topic equality. Thank you very much.